Hey guys, Wayne here from H2 Tech Videos. Today I'm going to be going over the tips and tricks on the new ZTE Blade Z Max, and we're just going to jump in and just show you some cool tips for this phone. So the first tip, and this is a tip I do with every single cell phone that I buy, is settings. This isn't even included in the video. This is just like a freebie that just every phone you get, you should always do this. Go to display. Change your sleep settings from 30 seconds to at least 2 minutes or 5 minutes so your screen doesn't go off so often, okay? That's the first one. Okay, that's not the first one. That's number 0, okay? All right, so our first tip here is gonna be our navigation button. So at the bottom here, we have our home button, we have our back button here, and we have our recent apps right here. Well, one of the things about recent apps or about these buttons here is depending on what phone you had last, you may like that combination to be a little bit different. I personally don't like to have my recent apps here. I like to have my back button here. So if I go to settings, I can go down to navigation key and I can switch it. So now I can have my recent apps here and my back button here. So that's just how I like it. And you can basically customize that based on what you like better, what combination works for you. Our second tip is going to be up here. So if we swipe down from the top, we do get to our notification panel. And then if you swipe down again, we get to all of our switches. Now I want you to pay attention to something. These first 5 switches are the most important 5 because whenever you swipe down, those are the first 5 that you're going to see. Now, I always like to reorder these based on what I use the most. For example, I don't turn off my data too often and I don't use airplane mode too often. So I don't want those to come up whenever I swipe down. So I'm gonna swipe down or open up the whole menu and hit the little pencil here. And now I can rearrange the order. So I like to move my flashlight higher up because I know I use that a lot. I'm going to move data down here because I don't plan on turning that off very often. And then I'm going to move up my battery saver because that's also one that I would use a lot. You're going to just put your finger on it, hold it for a second, and then you can drag it. In fact, I like to have my flashlight first actually. And that's it. And now, whenever you swipe down, those are the 5 that you're going to see first. So guess what? When you need to use your phone as a flashlight, boom, swipe down. I know my flashlight is first. Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, GPS, and power saving. Now it's things that you're actually going to use versus airplane mode. Well, if you fly a ton, go for it. But most of the time, people aren't flying that much. So, all right, our next tip is going to be a really cool one. This is probably, to me, like a tip I think everybody needs to do. So this is a great phone, huge screen, but one thing you'll notice is that the apps are really big. Everything is just very big, and this is just how the phone is set out of the box. Just watch this here. I can only have about 16 apps on the home screen because of the size of each app, which to me is very frustrating. So if we go to settings and we go to display, and then you go down to display size and change the default, we can move this down and it'll sort of shrink things down just a little bit. Now, check this out. Everything is smaller and now you can add more apps on your home screen. So now I have an extra row of apps. I can do up to 5 down and 5 across. And to me, that's a better use of the screen since the screen is so big. Why have a big screen phone if you can't do anything extra? To me, the whole point of having a bigger screen is that you want to do more things. So now we can just put more apps on the screen. This is a widget here, but guess what? We can get rid of this. We can just hold it and drag it up. And now I can do 5 rows up and 5 across. So that's my favorite tip right there. The next tip is going to be how do you change the wallpaper? So normally you just hold down the home screen and that takes you to wallpaper. So we just go ahead and hit wallpaper here. We've got some really cool options in here. This one I like. This one is like really bright. Kind of want to see that one. That one looks really dope. I tried that one earlier. Let's go ahead and try this one first. Home screen. So that one's kind of cool. Makes it look a little different. I think I'm gonna switch it to this one though. And now, look at that. The screen actually looks so much bigger. See, when you use the darker background, it makes the screen look smaller, but the brighter ones really do accent the phone, and you really get to see how big a phone it actually is. So that's how we change the wallpaper. That was one of our tips right there. Our next tip, this is sort of a tip that you'll find with any phone that is running Android 7.0 or 7.0 or higher. And it's going to be just being able to switch between your apps quicker. Okay, so to do this, we're going to just open up an app. Let's say I'm texting someone, we're texting back and forth, and then at the same time I'm also on Facebook, which I haven't actually signed into, so it's just going to show it like that. If you hit your recent apps button, and remember we switched it, so this is the back button, this is recent apps down here. If you hit this twice, it'll automatically switch to the last app that you used. So watch this. See that? This is called a quick app switch. Normally if you press it once, it's just going to bring up your recent apps. But again, just by hitting it twice quick, it will allow us to just switch back and forth between the last app that you used. So just a cool tip. I definitely love that one. I use it a lot. We've got more videos to come. We've got a really cool hidden feature video where we're going to show you some more cool stuff that you can do with this phone. And we also have a camera tips and tricks we're working on as well. So keep an eye out for that. I hope you guys did like this video. Make sure you like, favorite, and share if it was helpful. Make sure you also subscribe to HG Tech videos, and have a good one.